How many times have you spent hours doom scrolling, watching content that you don't even particularly care about and can't really remember after you watch it, and realize that your day has just passed by you? How many times have you watched something that makes you feel triggered or even worse than before you saw it, and yet you still can't stop watching? This is a topic that isn't talked about enough, so I wanted to talk about it. And the problem is that we aren't intentionally consuming content. And I feel like I can speak on this as a 19-year-old Gen Z. We literally can't really live without technology. And I'm not saying that technology is bad and is a thing at fault. Instead, it's actually the way that we consume and the things we see on there. And I've definitely experienced the side of the spectrum that I'm talking about. As a teenager that used to just scroll endlessly, especially, we have no real responsibilities. We're in high school. So don't worry, I know what it's like to stay up all night just on your phone and have a super high screen time. But before I tell you the physical changes you can make, I want to start with the mindset. So we all know there's people advocating for dopamine detox, 30 days, no social media, delete all your apps, have less than 1 hour screen time. But it's not inherently the technology, because technology is powerful. You can literally have a career off it, make money off it, have a job, and learn super valuable things. It's more about what do you want to learn. For example, learning how to make a business, how to invest, how to make art, getting advice for getting into other industries and jobs. We can't deny that technology is literally impacting all of us. A mindset change to have is start to really understand what do you want out of using your phone and how can you get there. And if you haven't really thought about what you want, then that's something to figure out first. And then once you start learning about it, is to actually take the steps to do it. It's so important when you see content you don't like, instead of spreading hate, just press not interested and then get off short form. Intentionally think about what content you actually want to see. This isn't the case all the time, but I feel like there's distinctively less hate on YouTube because people are less inclined to get mad on something they clicked on. I just wanted to add a disclaimer about short form though, because there's so many creators that thrive off of short form, make it into a really flourishing career, business, and I believe they are doing what's right for them because not everyone has the same goals and ideas. So some platforms are better suited to others, and some people do better saying story times on TikTok than, for example, making videos on YouTube. It's all about the different accessibilities and the different mindsets that people have, and also the kind of value that they want to bring to whichever certain audiences. So I want to give some tips that also help me achieving my goal of intentionally consuming content and taking control of my phone so I can take control of my life. And not just phone, it could be your tablet, TV, laptop. I would say first of all is putting on limits for screen time. So I have a limit for Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, social media for about an hour a day. But if I press want more time, it gives me 1 minute, 15 minutes, an hour, and then I pause to think about how much time I want to spend. If it's something I just want to search up, I'll press 15 minutes, search what I need to do, have a look, and then the timer will come back on, and then I'll get off the app. And then this just provides friction for your apps so that you are less inclined to go on it. In Atomic Habits by James Clear, a way to make habits harder is how you're going to do them less. So any bad habits at a friction point, so it's harder to do it. Another important thing is turning off notifications, because sometimes you'll see your phone buzz, you automatically look at it, suddenly you get on the app, you're distracted. I have my notifications off for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat, and even Gmail, because when my phone buzzes and I just see something unimportant, it's just not really worth it, so I just turn them all off literally. Even if it's something important, I can just check it when I decide myself when to check it. I think the third thing is to figure out what do you really want from technology. So for example, as a content creator, I literally want to create more than consuming. So I want to look for inspiration on what to create. I also want to watch inspiring creators, so people that I want to be like. And also if there's something I want to do, like book a Pilates class, book a yoga class, I can do that through technology. That's a good use of it. And also learning something like what books to read, being financially literate. There's so many useful ways to use technology to educate yourself. I even just watched a documentary on Netflix called Get Smart with Money. Another thing with TV and Netflix is to not just watch anything recommended to you. Have a really clear idea on what you want to watch, and don't watch it right away. Have a think about it, have a scroll through, and if you really want to watch it, then watch it. But personally, I love watching Netflix documentaries, so that's a way to get an understanding of what you want to learn and how you want to use technology. I recommend writing down a list of the things you want to learn, just searching it up and seeing what creators appear, and actually educating yourself, because education isn't limited to school. In fact, school doesn't even teach you majority of things that you need to learn, so you might as well use your online time to learn. This is the fourth thing: make more of a life outside of your technology. So this can include hobbies like reading, going to exercise, even just spending time with friends in person, being around your house, doing your chores, journaling. These are just some of my personal ones. There's so many out there, like more sports, even technical things like coding. Because how many times have you been asked like, what's your hobbies? Or you ask someone else, what's your hobbies? And they can't really come up with anything other than like doom scrolling. That's a way that your phone can have control over you when it's taking over your life and not allowing you to do things outside of it that build your own character. 5, this kind of goes along with the things you want to learn, but find and follow creators that truly inspire and motivate you. You don't want to focus on the creators that you just look at with envy, that don't really relate to you. You have to have those few creators that you really love and admire, especially when they have a success story that can inspire you to do the same. I've mentioned these YouTubers before, but I love them. Lena Lifts, My Fam, Temcore, The Wizard Liz, Fernando Ramirez, and those are YouTubers that I've followed for like a while, at least half a year, and some even a few years, and I see them grow so much over that span of time, and it inspires me. I also learn a lot from their content, and it makes me feel better about myself because they spread a lot of positivity and a lot of healthy advice that you can use, and also seeing them live their dream life can also inspire you to live your own. Number 6, back to practical tips. You can turn on grayscale on your phone, which literally turns off all the color and it makes your phone look kind of dull and boring. In times where you feel like just doom scrolling and you have this on, you literally feel like not watching anymore because it seems so boring. Another tip is focus modes. I literally have do not disturb on like all the time. There's other focus modes. You can also customize them, so you can have specific apps show up only when you're on that mode, and then every other app isn't showing. And I don't understand how people don't use do not disturb all the time, but I also feel like that's kind of a Gen Z thing. If you're not already, utilize do not disturb, and also keep your ringer on silent. That's something that I always do, but just turn it on when you need your alarm or something like that. Another practical tip that's similar to screen time is downtime. So you can set allocated times, like for example 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. You literally just restrict access to your apps. I feel like this helps me because once it's like 11 p.m. and then suddenly all my apps are grayed out, I realize that it's time to wind down and get off my phone, so it actually helps me to do that. And then when you wake up, if you wake up before that time is up, then you also don't really feel inclined to go on your app straight away, because I know it's so easy to just wake up and straight away look at your phone. I don't doubt that that's something that all Gen Z does, but it's something that we can work on. So this helps with setting intentional viewing times of your technology, which is very helpful, so you know when the time is up to go and do something else. Another thing with content is to diversify but not make it complicated. So for example, like TikTok and Instagram Reels, I would say they are the most like brain rot doom scrolling. So you kind of want to spend less time on that, but you don't have to get rid of it completely, especially in this day and age. It's like our equivalent of the news, like keeping up to date with things. But you can start consuming other media forms like podcasts or even audiobooks. And I feel like YouTube is a great place. There's so many videos on YouTube. People actually talk about the downsides of technology and social media. So many videos are like, I quit social media, or like digital detox, and like get off your phone. But yeah, YouTube has a lot of gems, and you can actually go in depth with a lot of topics. There can be videos that are hours long. Also with TikTok, now TikToks can be 10 minutes long. How many times have you like caught yourself watching a random story time like 5 minutes in, and you're like, wait, this is actually so long, but I can't stop watching. And then you keep scrolling and there's just more and more long TikToks that you can't escape because of the catchy hook and all the engagement. It's really something that you can get stuck in. Okay, I would say this is the last thing, digital detoxes. So like a full day without technology, or even just like specific times where you put that phone away and you make sure it stays away. There's also times where you can just say no technology allowed, such as like during eating times, or if you're going outside, you just bring a book and not your phone, and you just go sit somewhere and read, and then you come back. I think the main key takeaways are to focus on what you are consuming and how to make it better for you, not to cut out technology completely and see it as a bad thing, as something you can't have control over, because you definitely can. You can use it for the better. You can use it to change your life for the better. It can improve your mindset, and I'm also speaking from experience. I have changed so much in the past few years, but if it wasn't for me intentionally searching up how to make myself a better person, how to achieve my goals, it wouldn't have happened. So I want people to realize that you can take control over this. Just because our world is increasingly becoming more technological doesn't mean a bad thing when you can use it to an advantage. Look at it with a good mindset, because then you'll get good out of it. And also evaluate your content choices and reflect on them. So think about what creators you're actually watching the most. what you want to change about it, how you feel after watching it, and just take a moment to reflect if it aligns with your actual values and goals. So by making the choice to consume content intentionally, to not just fill your time with entertainment and whatever pops up, you're making choices that can enhance your life, your productivity, your well-being, and personal growth. It can literally make you a better person and learn so many things, like spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. It's about being mindful of what you're watching, when you're watching, and why you're watching it. Turn off your distractions and curate your feed so it's content that inspires you and educates you. So next time you pick up your device or catch yourself scrolling, ask yourself, is this adding value to my life and do I really want to be seeing this? If not, it might be time to press pause and refocus. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you guys have any other ideas, opinions, tips and tricks, feel free to comment below, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching.